Hi everyone, this is Abhay Dave from Eminence Business Media. Welcome to the limited edition of Eminence Unfiltered. Unfiltered, yeah. Welcome to the special edition of Eminence Unfiltered. In this podcast, we will be discussing about Eminence company culture. Well, a lot of people walk up to me and ask that how do we manage to do it while we have so much of fun and we are still working very hard. So let's talk to the person who has instilled this value in us. We have Miss Guneet. How are you doing, Guneet?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much, Abhay, for the idea of this podcast. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing wonderful. Well, since Guneet, we are working from a co-working space, I have a lot of friends around, and a lot of companies have been asking me that they have been seeing a lot of new faces within the organization, and a lot of us have been with the company from a very long time. So I'm just curious to know what's your hiring strategy behind it.
Honestly, it took us a while to even figure it out that what is the hiring strategy. So we have done the mistakes, we have done the good things and bad things, and some terrible things in hiring as well. Uh, for hiring, if you might have noticed this, that most of the times I always make it a point that I am also interviewing the person in the
Mhm,
very
mhm.
end.
Yeah.
After you understand what you want to understand from your end, I only want to understand people. I want to
Mhm,
know, that means if I'm having that kind of vibe with people,
mhm.
are they good people? That matters a lot to me.
Totally.
How, what kind of culture they are going to bring in? Are they going to mess up what we have created? All of that somewhere down the line makes a lot of difference.
Mhm.
um, Abhay, you are here like since a very long time, so
Yes.
forget about that you joined as an employee 2020, but means before that as well, from the inception times you are there from
Yes.
a long time, right? So you I heard you say that to a couple of people before that as well, when we were not onboarded as an employee, uh, that the way we treat the hosts who are at the event, it's very different than every other company. And
Yes.
this is what we want to keep alive. So we don't want that, means, in case if we step back and somebody else is taking over
Mhm.
and running the work for us, then that person should not be approachable. That person do not think from the heart. So that is the main thing that I have in hiring, that
Uh-huh.
what kind of person are you, what is your ability to learn,
Mhm.
is there any trainability gap, or are you even willing to learn?
Exactly.
Right, definitely can be taught, but if you are not willing to learn, then even your skill is useless. In the end of the day, you will not be able to apply it, right?
Absolutely. So this has been I mean I can totally vouch for that thing because I was a very new person when I joined in this company, and gradually the way I've grown, the way I've developed my skills, that is something which has helped me to be where I am today. And when it comes to the part where, you know, getting new people on board, training them, it is very much important to have the willingness factor because
Absolutely.
skill definitely we can develop, but yeah, the willingness is not something which you can, grow in them.
Correct. And though there is one challenge, the reason people are facing a certain challenge is, colleges and schools are setting a certain expectations around packages, I think.
Yes.
uh, you do this and you will get this much package the moment you go out. So nobody is talking about the worth.
Totally.
They do not want to know that what is it that they know that is
Hmm.
worth that package. The
Yes.
trainability and everything comes in later, but they come with the baggage that, okay, the moment I graduate or post graduate from this, I'm going to get this particular package. And that is insane, because you need to gain that experience, you need to
Hmm.
create that worth around you. I remember my time when I was, there was this moment that I was working in a call center, all right?
Uh-huh.
um, and there was this jhol people could do. And I don't know, means, if I've ever told you this, but it's very funny thing. um, you can do something, some goof up at Avaya, and
Okay.
it's like you're top for receiving a call, you're on top. But the moment the call is going to hit you, you will just do something on your equipment, and
Uh-huh.
you go down at the queue. So the call will not come to you, it will come to the next person. So I remember we were doing late night shifts, and everyone used to do this. Everyone
Mhm.
used to, they used to call it toggling.
Okay.
Toggle and go down in the queue.
Mhm.
And somehow, while everyone was sitting idle for an hour, I used to be on back to back calls. All right.
Okay.
I was good, I was fun, everyone liked me, and we had a good rapport, but I had never done anything like a jhol like this to, avoid calls and all that. And some one time that, in fact, one of the person that I'm talking about, he was very close to me. So he just came to my screen and he said that, okay, oh, let me that do that for you. I was like, stay away from my station, do not touch it, I'm not gonna do this, I've never done this where I'm getting paid for something but I'm not doing the job for it. They used to wonder that why am I taking all those calls and I'm not even complaining about it, and I'm still a fun person, not a boring person who's sitting and taking calls. And I used to pity them. In my perspective, I used to feel I'm going to learn a new scenario and I'm going to add something new to my career, that this problem can be solved like this. And while they will be ignorant for the rest of the time, I don't care about the money, but I care about the time that I'm giving the company. What did I learn? This was
Absolutely.
my attitude. And this has been my attitude like this since forever. So the problem is that is lacking currently
Okay.
because of the baggage colleges are putting on them, that this is the package you will get. So they are not able to learn. If they are hired on a premium package, then the companies have certain expectations. If they are on the lower package, they're like, okay, I was told this package, but this package. So the life is revolving around
It
package.
is
They are
all
not
about the money, it seems,
exactly, so means
rather
they are not
than.
trying to create the worth. So that is definitely a problem. This is the main reason that I want to know people, that how they are they good people, are they competitive, are they trying to make create a worth around them. And yeah, so this is and
Wow, I mean, that's something which, if you have it in your mindset, you are definitely gonna excel. And the bringing in that sort of integrity will always help not only the employer, but the employee also to grow up the ladder.
absolutely, absolutely.
Totally. So I'm also a little curious to understand, during the COVID times, a lot of companies, a lot of my friends faced a lot of, trouble when it comes to jobs and everything, because they were not having jobs, people were sent off, they were given sabbaticals. How did you manage during the COVID times?
It's I have no idea, we just managed. All
Uh-huh.
I know is we just did not lay off anyone
Mm-hmm.
in spite of the struggle that we were facing. We were doing webinars, remember, right?
Yeah.
And everyone who was working with us was still working with us. Then people over the period of time, they had family problems, a lot of people were sitting at home. It's very depressing when people have to stay back at home
Yes.
and they have habit of going to office every day and working. So a lot of people face some family challenges, some in-laws issues, some other
Mm-hmm.
issues, and all of those problems. And eventually, people started to, stay. Thought of like means they don't want
Mm-hmm.
to stay, but otherwise, we have never laid off anybody, even during the COVID times as well. And that I think is it's very important that you have a certain kindness in you
Yeah.
that comes with that. And it doesn't I'm a very rude person at times. Kindness doesn't mean absence of rudeness. If I have to be very honest, I'll give you an example. So when I told you the story when I was working in a call center, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we used to do late night shifts and we were kids. Early in the morning we used to get free from the shift and we used to go to this place at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's near Orlim, 20th
Uh-huh.
century, opposite to the church. Now there was this old uncle,
Uh-huh.
and he used to serve us all the food and all of that early in the morning at 7 o'clock with beer. And
Uh-huh.
the moment he's gonna bring beer, I'm like, "You bloody idiot! You are having beer in the morning. There is mass going on in that church. What kind of people are you? And your liver will fail. And you, Guneet." And he was so rude. I am telling you. Nowadays, if I see people with today's patience, they will kind of maybe cuss him or say something wrong to him or not tolerate or maybe not go there.
Uh-huh.
uh, we used to enjoy it because we knew that is coming from
Certain care.
purity, a certain care, that he's concerned about what we're doing with our liver in the morning. I
Mm-hmm.
have seen shoemakers, one shoemaker who was rubbing the belly of a stray animal and he was feeding him. And I have seen people who do not have much. There are people in my building at previous building, Anshul Heights, um, that they have done so much for the animals. During fireworks, one of the animals ran away from Malat to marine lines.
Oh.
They brought him back. Can you
Mm-hmm.
believe it? Like me, so much of effort they are putting. So there is kindness, but I've seen these people very rude, and it is okay.
Mm-hmm.
not rude to the point which is kind of destroying somebody's self confidence, but it means that they can also lose it. They're also people. If you can't lose it at all, then you're a saint. There is nothing wrong in being saint, but in our times, maybe we don't have time to be a saint. So that's exactly what we were doing in COVID. So I just wanted to be kind. I was feeling the same thing, that if it was me and I was doing the job and I lose my job because of this bad time, and these people have stick around with me when the times were good. So we suffered, we incurred losses as well at that time, because we were not ready to lay off employees. And but somehow that paid us later on, in terms of monetarily as well later on, but otherwise filled our hearts also. So somewhere down the line, I think that being genuine, authentic, and being kind is too hot. It works for you all the time. It's super super sexy thing.
To be honest, it's a two-way street, I believe. When especially an employer like y'all, I mean, when they have this thought process wherein they are so kind enough, the employees has to be there as well. When it comes to, when you have expectations, you should be in a position to make sure that will be expected out of something. There will be some sort of expectation from you as well.
Absolutely.
And the way you highlighted, people nowadays, it's all about money, wherein they are concerned about just packages. And keeping
It's
this
not their
simple.
fault though.
It is the
Honestly,
it is
it's the curriculum, the entire education system that needs to understand that you cannot this has become a business, that okay, you join this particular MBA course, and you will get, the moment you come out of it, you will get this much of lakhs package. This is absolutely rubbish. Means they need to set the realistic expectations. What are your grades are one thing. How are you as a person? How
what
many
skills do
lectures
you
you have
have?
attended, and what kind of extracurricular activities you were a part of. When
Correct.
you have to be in a corporate culture, you cannot be just a person who knows that okay, I have done MBA. In my MBA they taught me this, I know this algorithm and theorem, and I can apply on the business. It is not possible. You need to be realistic, you need to be street smart, you need to be good, you need to think more critically. Your cognitive ability has to be fast. You should be able to think. That means, if this is happening, somebody who can work within the scrutinized budget. Now imagine you have a very average person, and that person is given a special tool, and it's very expensive tool. Anybody can work on that tool, right?
Yes.
Means anybody can fetch results from that. But now there is this another person who just knew how to do marketing well, let's say, right, within scrutinized budget, and doing marketing more to do with free of cost marketing as well. And this person is killing it, right, in the scrutinized budget as well. Now you give this person this particular tool, it's kind of a weapon in that person's hand,
Can do wonders.
right? So giving an idiot something which is not going to be of any value, but anyone can run that tool, is absolutely waste of money by a company.
Totally.
You need
It
to see
is
who can work in scrutinized budget, and then based on that decide.
it is more like having that core skill in you rather than just
Exactly.
relying on the tools or the apps or any other softwares which can help you do that.
Right.
That is secondary.
To develop that, the easiest thing, cognitive ability, yes, that can be increased by sleeping well, eating right, increasing the focus. But in order to develop this thought, the only thing that you need is enough care of for what you're doing, caring for your clients, for your internal employees, which are your means your colleagues, caring for the company, caring in what you do. Means you shouldn't be kind of doing something which is wrong, unethical. uh, let's talk about mis-selling, right?
Yeah.
If you do not believe in what you're selling, you don't know that if it is this is the right thing or not, but you're still selling it. Maybe you will be a great salesperson because you are good at it, but it's not gonna go longer because you didn't have care for the company that it's trying to build a reputation and brand. You don't have care for the client. That means, this conference is going to be adding value to him or not. Whoever is coming to you, you're just selling them a ticket. Now this is blind selling,
Correct. And that is not going to last for.
not going to last for very long. So if
Correct.
you have that care, then automatically you will think critically to make things better, to make the company grow, to help the clients fetch most outcome from a particular event,
Correct.
and to ensure that your employees, all of them, they are also working like a team.
Absolutely. And that is when you will be in a position where the industry knows you. At the same time, it gives you ownership of your own clients. It gives you that willingness, and not only willingness, actually, that, what we call it, I'm just missing that word, that kind of connection with your client, which will actually help you to make sure that you are there for them. And that is when you reach out to them, it is not like pushing your product or giving them something which is not required. It is always on the basis of the merit, what product are you
What
having. And
merit? Absolutely.
so selling people, I have seen this being from sales. I mean, most of my uh, experience has been in sales, and I've seen that people have this understanding that sales is difficult. Everybody, when, because I've been taking interviews as well, that is when I've been seeing people running away from sales, having a very different perspective on sales. What's your understanding when it comes to?
Well, sales, um, I breathe and exhale, inhale and exhale sales. I'm going to
Mhm.
be very honest. I've been a salesperson always, and I love sales. I do not get the opportunity to get on the calls anymore, and I really miss that big time. I think that you are either a salesperson or you're not.
Mhm.
You are choosing sales after something else as your priority, you are not going to be a salesperson, right? A salesperson is kind of always presentable, always on their edge, has that kind of energy. They are the front face of a company, right? And they enjoy the fact that, okay, means they are trying to bring some sort of difference by doing what they're doing.
Mhm.
That difference is for the company they're working for, and that difference is also for the employees they're catering to,
Mhm.
and the clients they're catering to. So I think sales is a very beautiful thing. You can, if you are once a salesperson, you will always be a salesperson. And if that is not your priority, maybe you might be able to bring some numbers up, but you will never be a salesperson, the right kind of salesperson. But I must ask you this, Abhay, that since you've been heading sales for such a long time and entire operations for business, what is your opinion on that?
See, I understand a simple thing wherein it's the value that you sell. It's not the product. It's not the features of your product. Okay, it's the value and the attitude what you have helps you sell. Because pushing a product, giving unnecessary sales pitch which is not required, trying to be fancy in.
I remember at that time, this FCA person, he had an exigency and he could not come to the conference. And you had, I will not even name the company, but means you had a good closure from one
Yes,
of the companies,
yes,
a very premium amount. They
yes.
did not even ask for it, but you made sure that you kind of
Upfrontly tell them.
to them, and they were kind of, no, we can take this, we can take that, it's all right, means he came virtually, we are okay. But you made it a point that, okay, no, I promised you this, you wanted to meet this person. So I know what you're saying.
That is the way we have to nurture our clients, because they put their trust in us. And if we need to give it back in the similar manner, if we they have with a given information, they have vouched for us and they've come on board, so it is mandatory for us to tell them that, okay, this is the scenario, keep them in open and make things understand. So yeah, things work out. That's how it works. That is the reason I always tell my team members, yeah, be honest, value your product, show the value, and it is going to happen. It is not a rocket science.
Absolutely, and with a pinch of care. Care is everything. That you care for the client, in the end of the day, it's going to work wonders for you in sales. That is absolutely true.
So Guneet, we spoke about hiring, we spoke about retention. I'm just a little curious to understand, how do you deal with competition?
um I'm not sure that means why we always think about it like a competition. I
Mhm.
prefer to build my competitors rather than taking them as a competition.
Okay.
Everyone is doing their own thing, and
Mhm.
somehow while they all are doing the same thing, they are all doing it differently from each other.
Mhm.
And it's the beauty of it. In case if you are the only one running the race,
Then there's no fun.
then what's the point, right? I have had instances, means there are other companies also who are doing conferences specifically for pharma. and some of them I know them in person as well. And there was this instance when they were stuck in a particular situation that they didn't know how to deal with SEGST and all of that. So CGST and SGST. So I was an IGST because
Uh-huh.
it was new for them. So it
Okay.
was their new journey for being an entrepreneur. And I made sure that I provide as much help as possible. And there are some very well established companies as well. Somebody wants me, those companies are doing exhibitions, and when somebody walk up to me and say that I want a slot, I'm still in touch with the person who runs the show for exhibition. I pass on the leads to him, and I ask that if I can give your number as well. So I do not like to see things as competition. Maybe other companies do, but no, that is definitely not me. And I've also heard a couple of times that some company is saying this about you or that about you. I don't do that. I'll tell you an example. I'll give you an example. When I was a child, I used to watch this show, Bambi. I used to watch it a lot. You remember in your old geometry box, there used to be an image of
Yes.
Bambi and
Yes.
some other animals around in the
Hamlin
jungle,
box.
right? So I used to watch this cartoon. So there is this conversation in Bambi and Thumper. Thumper is a rabbit, a bunny, and Bambi is deer, baby deer. So Bambi is trying to walk, but he doesn't know how to walk. He's still trying to get up and walk, and he's kind of falling down. And Thumper says, "You're not very good at walking, aren't you?" And Thumper's mother, "Thumper, what did your father tell you?" And then he said, "If you can't say anything good, don't say nothing at all."
Uh-huh.
All right. So when it comes to my competition, if I can't say anything good about them, I will not say anything at all. So that's a simple,
That's fair.
that's the full stop that I would like to put there. So
Even
yes.
I would like to, take that strategy and implement it, because at times people have this, because I have to deal with a lot of people, and that is when this thing come across, wherein I want to be someone who is not telling bad to people. So yeah, definitely this is an interesting fact. I am going to take that.
And yet I must also say that means, I have seen these videos that glorifying entrepreneurship and business and all of that. It is terrible the way it is put across and put given so much of stress to people. Some people, they want to be entrepreneur because they see certain glam to it. It is not.
I would agree to
Not
that.
everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur, and I think that is absolutely okay. There is no problem. You are the kind of person who prefer to give more time to family, more time to everything else. Means, not like that I don't give time to the family, but it's not as much as everybody else does. I know that I sometimes don't get time for myself. Running the show on your own and your own company, it is not easy. There are sleepless nights and sometimes no sleep at all. Sometimes limited to no sleep, and a lot of things go down in this.
Yes.
So, and if you're not the kind of person who can take that kind of stress, that is all right. Also, there's one more thing that I think I should definitely highlight. There are these videos,
Uh-huh.
right? If you might have seen, how to put your business on autopilot and how to make sure that your business is faring well, reach out to us, we will show you this program
One
and I
webinar
will
can help them do that.
it is bullshit. Pardon my
Totally.
language. It's
Totally.
don't any of the entrepreneurs, they should not fall for this kind of rubbish. Nobody can run your business for you. They're just trying to, are you the one who's doing all the tasks? Are you the one who is kind of always running to the edge? Are you the kind of person who's living on the credit card and loan? You had to take a lot of loans. And are you worried about that this month has gone by, how to sustain in the next month? Let me help you. They're not going to help you,
They are running their own business.
right? Consultation is one thing. They're not consulting. They're just running their business off you. Knowing the fact that you have to run everything on your own in the beginning is very important for every entrepreneur. Unless you are means, becoming an Ambani or Tata or becoming a very big entrepreneur, that means things are on autopilot. Even things are not on autopilot for them as well. They too have to sign some papers and do some work and do some chores, make strategic decision, do critical thinking. Even they have to do. It's easy to say that they don't do anything at all. But nothing works without you not doing anything at all. If you want to do nothing at all, maybe if you have some land, give some land on rent to Airtel and Vodafone and all those people to set up the towers, and that will be a fixed income coming to your bank account every month. And that's when you cannot do anything at all. But if you want to run a business, want to run a company, you will have to do things on your own.
You have to put your heart and soul into it.
Yes, and even to build a team that is going to replicate your decision, behave like you, and care for the company like you, even to do this, you will have to work. If you don't work on that, then it's just going to go down faster
Mhm.
than it came up, right? So just don't fall for all of that bullshit.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that is very evident, because nowadays anybody who is sane enough will not go for that. But yeah, I understand ambitious entrepreneurs who are just, like you said, that point of yours, which you mentioned, that it is more like a glam nowadays,
Right.
that we need to be an entrepreneur, but everybody has not got that in them. Sacrificing 48 hours without sleep, I barely think that, people have it in them. But yeah, the ones who have, they're already there. And the
Right.
ones who are struggling and trying to find just being an entrepreneur for the sake of it, no.
I have a friend, when she was doing job, she was working for Cox and Kings,
Okay.
and now they, I guess, shut down in Mumbai. I'm not sure. Means I think this is what she told me last time. I told her, where are you joining now? And she said, I'm so tired of this 9 to 5. I think I want to be an entrepreneur.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, lady, you're tired of 9 to 5. You will have no 9 to 5 or 5 to 9 in your life. And there is a different thought people have for being an entrepreneur. They think that they're just free. They see your life, oh my God, you're traveling all the time. We are working all the time. I'm tired of hotel rooms. I'm tired of traveling. I'm exhausted with the room service. I have to take care of my health with all that is going on with my body. And I have a history of chronic illness. You know that, right? So, with all of that, I have to take care of myself. But I'm tired of doing all of that and giving less time to the family, spending less time at home. It is exhausting. So, the way people see it, that, oh, I'm tired of 9 to 5, so I want to be an entrepreneur. That is absolutely funny.
Totally, yes. They will realize soon once they are in there.
So most companies do not sustain for more than 3 years when they start a business, and the major reason for that is they were shown all the glamorous picture of entrepreneur world, but never not shown that means how to deal with any sort of failure,
Mhm.
and failure will be a stepping stone to their success,
Correct.
and they kind of either dip on the quality to get some profits, or they will just shut down. So this either thing is happening. So in that, I have read somewhere very long time back, and that was 1 year me into the business when I learned that thing. It was saying that means if you can sustain your business for 1000 days without dipping on your quality and enduring what comes,
Mhm.
then it's gonna go a very long time for you. And I let that thing sink in, sit in my heart, and I decided that, okay, yes, let's do it. Maybe somebody just wrote it for the sake of it. Maybe
Mhm.
someone intelligent wrote it. So let's think about it in that way.
Let's stick
I
by it.
put all my vibes, all my manifestations, all my strengths, all my brain, all my heart and soul, sweat and blood and everything. And I was counting that, okay, it's been 365 days now. Every anniversary, I'm thinking it in that way. And when I hit 1,000 days, honestly, because of COVID, we didn't see much. We didn't see much. But what we could see is how people are perceiving us,
Yes.
our employees, how they're looking at us like a brand, how our clients. Oh, eminence conferences, that means it is very eminent. Somebody said that to me, and it kind of made my day and night. And the next month, every time I was little down, I was thinking about it. Oh yeah, but he said, okay, eminence conference means eminent. And I used to remember this quote and just live with it. And it helped us sustain. It was not like that we shot up like that. We over the time grew and made things better and better. But I think if it worked for me, it might work for other entrepreneurs as well. Just think about this 1000-day rule.
Mhm.
Just think about it, that this 1000 day, do not lose faith, do not dip on the quality. And do not break partnership is like marriage. You need to choose right partners. We started with some other people, then we had to let go because we were juvenile. Learning from other people's mistake is not a bad idea, but uh, I think that means, choosing your partner like you are choosing your bride or groom is a very good idea, because these are the people who are going to make a big difference, and you are as strong as your weakest link. Right? So if somebody is really weak and you're very strong, you're not averaging it out. Somewhere down the line, as partners, you will have to be as weak sometimes as your weaker link, because you want to lift them up. You don't have an option that means, he's an employee or she's an employee and let go of them. So all of that matters. So make sure that you choose your partners well, make sure that you are able to put your trust in them. Do not let very tiny theft or little bit of hera fairy kuch bhi impact the things. You need to keep your calm and run by 1000-day rule, that do not dip on the quality. Do not think negative about yourself. Self critical is different thing, self feedback is different thing, but self doubt is very big problem. Do not fall for that. And after that, you're just gonna flourish.
Absolutely. It's more like nurturing a plant in a sapling into a plant and then into a tree.
Absolutely, before even it germinates, let's put the seeds there. Means it's like that. Means when you say a sapling, a sapling has still germinated into a sapling, right? Means when you're running a business, you do not have anything at all except your what you know and what you're putting in the
Correct.
business, right? That's all. So it's like means buying those seeds, planting those seeds, having the patience of knowing the technique, that how to just make sure that means it germinates.
Correct.
Then it germinates, how much water has to go, then eventually it grows into a sapling, and then you replant the sapling into a bigger pot. So it's starting from the scratch.
Yeah. So once you nurture it, the tree is going to give you the fruits. So that's how the
Absolutely.
business will grow eventually. So the patience is the key.
Absolutely, I totally agree on that. Alright. So, but certainly a very lovely conversation with you, Abhay.
Pleasure is all mine, Guneet.
Do you understand that we both are very loud?
I know.
And Shravan is going to kill us behind the camera, that we are just talking in each other's mic right now, and he must be really, really upset.
He should have, he never thought of, he should have kept two couches. I should be sitting far away from
Far away from each other. But wonderful talk. So, like you said, that this is a good idea to put this kind of podcast so that we can probably share what people really want to know about what Eminence is doing. And I think it was a very heart to heart, lovely chat.
I can agree to that.
All right. Thank you very much, Abhay.
Pleasure is all mine, Guneet. Thank you.